Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Okay, so today we're gonna be doing an update on the metalwork, right? And the update is gonna be on for this episode, it's gonna be on the triple threes that we're busy with. So remember that we've got about 7 triple threes. We've got 7, we actually got 10, but 7 out of the 10 are being fully, 8 out of the 10 are being fully restored. 7 out of the 10 are getting their body work and metal work as well as paint work done at the shop here. So I just want to take you guys through the process of how far we are on 3 of them. The 4th one is still going to come into the metal process. 2 of them are already being prepped up for primer. They were ready for paint, so we're just doing final prep, so there's not much to show on that. And then the last of the 7 vehicle still has to get stripped down and so on like that. So I've still got to do a full video on the strip down and what we find, etc. But before we carry on, we've actually got a visitor all the way from Cape Town. So Shiraz Bauer from SA Beamer, also very well known in the BM industry. You guys always see him behind the cameras, always taking photos, always at events, always supporting the scene, always supporting the BMW industry. Today, I'm actually dragging him into the video. So I know he hates videos. He hates being on camera. He always loves being behind the camera, but today he's got no choice. Shiraz? So
Sanjay, you live, Sanjay?
yeah, we're live.
Morning, it's still too early to talk.
Yeah, it's
Morning,
actually
morning.
cold. It's a winter's morning.
How are you, Sanjay?
Okay.
2 degrees outside.
It's cold. So guys, Shiraz popped in here yesterday, and we actually yesterday, and we actually said, you know what, I was gonna do a video yesterday, but let's just do the video this morning because I think this is a good opportunity. You guys are always seeing what I'm showing you. You're always seeing my views, right? So you've got to trust my opinion, my video work, my eyes. Now we've got someone neutral here to actually explain to you what he's able to see with regards to the processes of restoring a vehicle, restoring the metalwork, restoring the bodies, getting them back up to scratch. So Shiraz, if you can, just give your views on what you see in number 1. Obviously, we know the history behind the triple threes, but if you want to share something of that, you can.
Yeah. No, firstly, I must say, being at your new workshop here, it's brilliant. I visit you at your old workshop, and you got a nice space now to work, and so yeah, well done on that. Triple three will always be close to my heart. It was my first BMW ever, after 1.6 Toyota Corolla. Bought that for like 23 grand that time. The price. I think for a Fender is now 23 grand. You know what I mean?
If you can get it.
If you can get it, yeah. No, but what I'm seeing here is, this is not restoration. This is total rebuilding. This is taking it to bare metal. I'm sure you're not a fan of the body filler, right? And that is what we have a problem, especially in this country. People take the short way out, body filler, paint it, and after a couple of years, you see them needing to redo it again.
But it's not only that. It's with regards to body filler, right? What South Africans fail to realize is that, for example, take a fender. If you normally have a slight dent or a dent on a fender, right? Anybody can repair the fender. You can knock out as much as you can, or some people don't even go to that extent of knocking out as much as you can. They fill the fender up, and if you look at the fender on the floor, the fender looks 100% straight. Come time to fit that fender on the vehicle, then you'll see the effects of the dent here. So that means the metal is now stretched at this point. It's stretched backwards, right? Correct, which means it's pulling the fender in.
Yeah.
Then you'll find your lining up issues with your doors. You'll find lining up issues somewhere along the line. So bottom line is, you're not able to, if you cut the corner here, you're not able to run away from it anyway. Correct, it's going to catch up with you.
I find a lot of E30s on it. They don't line up.
You can't. And people, so you look at the photos, you look at the cars, the 3 to 5 IS is running for a bar plus. And some of the guys are not able to see it, right? Not everybody's got an eye for it.
Yeah.
But for the guys that can see it, you'll see stuff not lining up.
Correct, with the door,
So by doing what we're doing here now, right, we already see that, okay, there's a problem with the fender, there's a problem here, there's a problem there, in the photo already, without digging in.
Correct.
So my point is this here, is that you get 2 types of E30s. You get an E30 that is just supposed to look good, sound good, and a weekend car, call it that. And then you get an E30 that's supposed to be restored. It's a pedigree vehicle. It's supposed to be restored. It's supposed to be done properly. It's supposed to look the part. Meaning that if you take this fender off for some reason and you put that fender back on, it shouldn't go on with any modifications.
Correct, yeah.
You understand? You're supposed to use the original clips in the original places.
Yeah.
That means that you've got your body right. So, Shiraz, just let's, while we are here, right, my whole exercise about this video here with you being in it now is that the viewers always have to use my eyes on what I'm seeing here, right? And they've had to take my word for the process that we're trying to accomplish.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So you, a neutral person, yeah, just give your honest opinion on what you've seen. Look at the metalwork. We're down to bare metal.
Yeah, down to bare metal. It's, you don't see this at a lot of places, you know, and I must say this is it's like you taking, it's like, for me it's like you taking the sky as your own, and you want the result to be perfect, and this is how you're going to go about doing it. That's the only way. Stripping it down completely. I mean, everything is plugged out here, everything, you know, it's just a bare metal. So yeah, this is the proper way to do it.
So how do we get it done? As you know, we said we blast the cars, right? So I've done a video of us blasting the vehicles. I've also sent out a few vehicles just so I could buy time, because it's taken us like almost a week and a half to blast one car. So I started falling behind, and I sent certain vehicles out to get blasted, but I sent certain panels out in certain ways so that they don't warp it. But even if they did warp it, it's fine, because that means when they warp it, you stretch the metal, and then it just means that there's a lot more work for us afterwards to do, right? So on your BMs run up to about, I think it's a 1.4 millimeter. Now we're only getting 1.6 millimeter thick metal, but this is 1.4. Okay. So 1.4 is actually very flex. It's very thin. It's not something easy to work with. This here, and I'll take the camera off the tripod now, but this is 2 millimeter.
Sure.
So feel 2 millimeter.
Yeah, compared to the 1.4.
So even if you knock 2 millimeter, right? As to that. Exactly, but this is now on the floor.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So when it comes to the American guys, the guys could blast and do whatever they want to do because they've got leeway to play with on the bodies. They've got, I stand corrected, but it's 1.8 millimeter plus thickness on the walls of the sheets. We don't have that.
That's a common problem on E30s now, is that floor.
Let me take the camera off the tripod, and let's go through the vehicles, right? So you can also...
So you must know these bodies are now, I mean, they were built or produced in the 80s, so they're about 40 years old, these stuff now.
No, we've got age, we've got warpage, we've got stretching, stretching. We've got so many elements to deal with.
And these cars were driven, you know. And I suppose the clean cars, that's why the guys are asking 1.2, 1.5 million for clean cars, because the process to get it to a clean and a showroom condition,
or to maintain it to that level.
To maintain it, yeah, that's what it entails.
So even the guys that's restoring, now this is also another issue that we have in South Africa, right? Is everybody, at this point in time, everybody is restoring a car, right? And this is now the standards that's different. So yes, when it comes to a restored car, there's a lot of man hours in it. There's a lot of time taken into it. There's a lot of materials used for it. It's unbelievable just to strip this here down, right?
I mean, to strip this down, you need firstly your space, right? Which it's costly, you know. Then you need labor, man hours. So it's a costly project.
So just an example, right? This pad here. So this is this pad here. This pad is $475.
Sure.
And I use one pad, if I must go deep into it, right? I use one pad for a panel.
Per panel?
Per panel.
So what pad? Is that a sanding pad?
It's not a sanding pad. I don't even know the name of it, right? Because I've been going through a whole lot of items.
So when do you use that? When you take the paint off?
So what I've done is, no. So we've blasted down. So let me give you, this is, okay, here's a clean example, right? So this is sandblasted. So this is the finish we get on the sandblast, right? Okay. Then we've got to get rid of this layer here and then start working onto a fresher metal. So we'll use that pad here. Okay. So then we've got sandblasting. There's a cost on sandblast. Right. When it comes back from sandblasting, then we start using all the different pads. Yes. So that pad will only work in certain areas. I actually showed a friend of mine's, Rainan. Right. We just done an experiment, and for about 10 or 15 seconds, I done it myself, right? And I had it on the machine, and I just had it about too long on a white panel, and I warped that panel. Sure. And you could actually see the panel warp. within 10 or 15 seconds.
Wow.
Meaning that you cannot use that bed just anywhere. So you can't use it on a roof, for example. You understand?
It's a very detailed process.
Then you got your corners.
Yeah.
You can't, that bed doesn't work in the corners.
Oh.
So you've got to use another material on the corners of it. Then you need to get into this guy here. Then you need to get into this area here. So there's multiple.
Yeah, so besides your space that you need, your equipment, your man hours, it's also the knowledge.
100%. Then there's multiple. I'm going to give you another example, right? So the rubberizer. So sandblasting doesn't pull the rubberizer out. What happens is the sand particles actually bounce back off here.
Okay.
You understand?
Yeah.
So they will get it to a certain point to us, and then from there we'll take over. So this guy's back from sandblasting.
So when you paint, you get that same effect. The
Yeah, but
paint.
we need to
you
take-
obviously don't see it.
I'm gonna take you to another corner, right?
Yeah.
Because you'll actually see that this here covers up a lot of crap.
Yes.
So we need to actually get the rubberizer off. So in this process that we're in now, we're busy with fenders, we're busy with doors, rear fenders, bonnet, boot, roof, right? The next process will be now stripping the rubberizer off here and finding out what's going on the side sills.
Yeah.
So you see on a lot of the triple threes, your side skirt doesn't fit 100%. You'll always see a gap
A
there.
gap in the middle. Or
You understand?
where on, yeah.
Now that's because there's a warpage there.
Sure.
So we need to get that rubberizer off, find the body filler there, pull those dents out, and it's a bit tricky there because we're not able to get to the back of it.
So if you look at a process like this, sandblasting, what's a timeline or something like that?
No, this is, look, each car should take about a year to do, you understand?
A year.
So each car should take about 3 to 5 months in body alone.
Yeah.
That's the reality of it.
Sure.
So the 3 to 5 IS that we got on the rotisserie, that was one of the first cars that we started doing body properly on, right? That car was sitting about 9 months
Okay.
in body work. So like here, for example, this is another example, right? So everybody sees we've got the, what's this, the parcel shelf, not the back, I know there's a backboard.
Yeah. Backboard, yeah.
So how do you repair this here? This has been cut out before, right? They've cut the whole board out for speakers. When we restore a car, firstly from a rigidity point, we have to re-strengthen this here because on a backboard, I just want to see where's the other one now. There's actually bracing from here
Correct, yeah. To hold
on
it
2
forward.
points to strengthen it.
Correct, yeah.
So this is not only here for show, it's actually here for a reason. And we go in, we cut out the whole board for speakers. Now we've got to replace this board. So I'm giving an example here, right? So in order for us to remove this board here, we've got a whole lot of spot welds on here. But the spot welds don't end here. You've got spot welds on the corners here.
Yes.
That's in areas. And I came with this guy and I battled to get them.
Sure.
Now, here's one further. There's more spot welds all the way underneath your windscreen or between your windscreen rubber. So you can't drill out from here. You understand?
Yeah.
Because when you put him back in, okay, you just got to find a way of drilling it out properly. So you need one solid panel to get your spot weld back onto.
Correct, yeah. Correct.
Right? This here takes you about 3 days
Sure.
just to get
So tell
this
me,
guy sorted out.
if a guy brings in a project, right? Obviously, you'll need parts from. Do they bring it down the cars, or do you have parts available?
we've got to go through that. So certain remember something, we're also running out of stock.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
sorry, I'm moving away with the camera here. We also running out of stock, right?
E30
Meaning
parts.
that the clean cars are now gone, or the clean cars are being rebuilt. So there's no salvage vehicles available,
Okay.
right? So what do we start doing from there?
Start fabricating.
Start fabricating. So let's just walk around here. Here's an example. So I've shown you guys before fabricated parts. Here's another example. So this is on the floorboard of the vehicle.
Yeah, that's a common problem.
Right.
For the rust.
With the rust spot here. So this is the old tray that came off on here. This is one that's fabricated.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's also 30 years old. It's worn out. It's
Yeah,
rough
worn
out
out.
already. But this is a fabricated item, so it's not finished as yet. But bead rolled as close as possible to the original. Taken off by the spots. Here we had to cut out because we don't have to cut out the whole floor. So we can still salvage.
Correct.
So
Yeah.
this is fabricated.
Was there any instances where you had to replace the whole
Yeah.
floor?
We've actually got a floorboard over here.
An
So
entire
it's-
floorboard?
Excuse the shop is still, it's still early.
No, it's a workshop.
But like, let's use this guy as an example, Shara, so you can see what's actually going on here, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
This is the Aero Silver 333 that we've done a strip down on, and I've shown you guys, especially these fenders here.
Okay.
Like
No,
this.
no sunroof on it. It's
No,
just
this
333.
quite a few of them don't have
Don't have
sunroofs.
sunroofs, yeah.
Quite a
Yeah.
few. So like this floorboard here, right? You can actually see the floorboard rotten all the way
Yeah.
from the front, actually from the top all the way down,
Just this.
right? This side here, even though there's no major holes, but this is rust in here. So if we leave this guy like this here, it's just gonna start creeping over time. So
Correct,
it's senseless us doing the one side and not completing the side.
So on this car, is it easier now? What was done so far on this car?
So we've just done fenders on this car,
Right.
right? There was a lot of
Sandblasting.
no. So we wet plastered this car, right?
Okay.
Wet sandblasted it.
Right, right.
But we've
right.
pun and filed the fenders already, so all the dents out on the fenders.
Okay.
Now this car, this is the NRA one, this is the Aero Silver car, yeah.
Both 333s.
Both, all 333s, yeah. So this car, they actually waiting for major fabricational work. So what we're actually doing is we're trying to get the easier cars just to feed the panel shop at this point in time,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
I just want to go over to you, Sharaz, you can actually have a look here, right, and see. So in the previous videos you guys saw, when I was talking about the cut and join and how bad this car really is. So it looks like this car was, at some point in its lifespan, in a front smash.
Correct, yeah.
So they've cut the front of the car off and they've replaced it with another piece.
Okay.
The problem that we found now, after doing a point check on the car, the chassis legs are out. So you cannot go and repair this guy. The
Yeah.
only way of getting this here done is by cutting off or taking off by the spot welds, but taking off your firewalls by the spot welds, taking the battery tray off. And we have to look for a salvage vehicle where we're going to have to take that vehicle off in the same way and refit a whole front onto it. So remember, we've got the VIN number. The 333 is different with the VIN numbers
Correct, yeah.
on the firewall and not on the shock tower.
Correct, yeah.
So we're safe in that sense where we can remove the whole front and get it replaced. But I think that's the only way of getting it done properly because there's just too much of welding on this car here.
So with the issue of the chassis, where you mentioned now the chassis was a bit maybe out of, is that the front will help that, or would you still need to put it on a
No.
rig and
So-
pull it straight?
So, okay, so this car will have to get done very differently, right? Firstly, it's not going to get done here.
Okay.
So I've actually got to, I'm not going to say outsource it as such, it's done under my supervision.
Yeah.
But the only reason why I'm sending it out is because we need to put it on a chassis jig.
Yeah.
So it's going to be on the jig for about 3 weeks.
So the thing is, if a car comes in, it needs special treatment. It gets a special treatment. If you unable to do something here, you send it to the right people to get it right. So that is the thing. The car comes out perfectly.
So the biggest thing here, remember something, is that we're taking out the whole front of the vehicle, right?
Yeah.
And we're taking out the whole floor. So the chances of
Sure.
the body warping,
Yeah.
I'm talking about now the infrastructure of the vehicle actually
Yeah.
flexing
Yeah.
is great. So what we need to do is, in order for us to get this process done properly, the guy has to go onto a chassis mounted jig,
Correct. Yeah.
right? And they're going to lock the car on the jig. Then we'll have to brace the vehicle first before we start doing any cutouts.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So that's
The process has been done properly. What needs to be done is being done.
so guys, when we drive these vehicles and we go to a show or to a run afterwards, right? And you guys get to see these vehicles, understand what's gone behind it.
So that's the thing is, I suppose, I don't know if you ask your clients when they come in, what is the purpose? What do they want to achieve from the vehicle? Do they want to park it in a garage, or do they want to actually enjoy it? I know when I had my 333, I enjoyed it. I drove 3 times to Cape Town. So with the cost of these cars today, people be able to enjoy it like that? So I suppose you got to understand what the customer wants.
Yeah, but look at Uncle Faisal, for example, right? I don't ever support a garage queen.
Yeah.
Look at Uncle Faisal. You know that you've seen that cars run from Joburg to Cape Town.
Correct. Yeah.
So, and these cars are not, he doesn't drive it daily.
And it still looks like a showroom.
But those are
piece.
clean cars. They're well maintained. They clean low mileage vehicles. But the thing is, if it comes to Cape Town run, he jumps in this car and he drives.
And that's the purpose of the car.
Exactly. Enjoy it. You're buying these cars to enjoy them. A lot of guys buy them for investment purposes. We don't dispute that.
Yeah.
But use the vehicles as well.
Yeah. No, but you take Uncle Faisal, for example, his cars, he can fetch top money because his cars look showroom, but he still drives it.
And they're usable. Remember,
Correct, yeah.
having a car standing is also not good, eh?
Correct, yes.
So I've got a few customers where we're battling with a few cars. Not battling as such, but the cars are clean. Like the E36 M3, I haven't done any videos on that, right?
Yeah.
But it's got about 140 or 150,000 on the clock. Customer bought the car from Cape Town. The car is neat. It's not pristine, but it's a neat, maintained car. But the car's got issues on seals, on stupid seals.
Sure.
The varnishes are rattling, not because the varnishes are gone. The seals are not gone. It's all the oil is drained out.
Yeah.
And
it hasn't been properly maintained.
No, it's been maintained, but it's been standing.
Okay. So that's from standing.
So you actually do more harm to vehicles standing and park.
Yeah.
So the advice is also drive the vehicles.
Drive the vehicles, yeah.
So, guys, I'm not gonna let the video drag on for too long, right?
Yeah.
But just to conclude, this here is the white 333. So this is one of the white ones. I can't give numbers out, right? But it's one of the low numbered white ones. This is the henna red one. It's a high numbered henna red one. This is the Aero silver one. Low numbered Aero silver one. So eventually you guys are gonna follow this ball through. You're gonna follow it through and you're gonna see. And I also mentioned to you that I don't want to do a lot of short scenes like this here, because you guys want to see start to end projects. But it's very hard in this aspect here where you'll wait 1 year for a video if we have to do it.
I mean, people who do this, they don't even have, time for videos. So you still doing this plus your videos. So I must commend you on your.
No, but that's why people are telling me I must get a cameraman, and I understand I need to get a cameraman, but sometimes we need to do videos on the.
This is a very detailed process. You can't capture everything.
Nah.
You can't capture everything. I mean, how many 333s do you have
in the shop under the roof? Now currently 10, plus the replica 11.
Yeah, that's 5% of what was produced.
I think I stand corrected here, right? I stand corrected, but I think we're the only company in the world to have so many 333s under one roof.
No, exactly.
At one point.
That's amazing. 10.
And then we've got how many ISs here? Just what we can see here quickly. 1, 2.
I think they were more written off,
4, 5.
They were more written off.
Yeah, so there's only count of 50.
Is it still alive today?
There's only count of 50.
204, 210.
2 or 3.
2 or 3.
Yeah.
Sure.
There's only count of 50. So out of 50, we got 10 sitting in here. It's 20% of what's running.
50, I've seen a lot. I've learned a lot. Hopefully, but I've got to go catch a flight now. So hopefully next time
100%.
when I come again, there's some progress on this vehicle.
Look, I'll update everybody, right? So there's going to be a lot of updates going forward.
Just to see now, how this comes, because I've seen it
before we.
It's like a baby. You see a baby going.
So I'm going to touch on something here quickly before we cut off, right? Whenever you get a person that comes and they look at paintwork, right? And they'll see an imperfection on paint. And then they say it's all about the prep. I want to touch on that topic. Where in the prep? Where? Because there's a few areas of prep work.
Yeah.
So guys, remember something. I'm not old in this game, right? I'm not a panel beater. I'm not a painter.
Yeah.
I'm not a spray painter. I've been forced to get into it from November.
Correct. Yeah.
So by being forced to get into this game, it means that I've been forced to learn things. So it's a good thing, because it's not just me doing it monotonously over the years, and that's how it's done in finishing class. That's the rule book. Yeah. So what I've learned is, whenever we look at paint and we see maybe fish eyes or we see orange peel, and the guys are, everybody says it's all in the prep work. It's all in the prep work. And I used to also say, okay, fine, it's in the prep work. But now you're learning, there's metal prep, there's primer prep, then there's paint prep. So you need to ask a question, where in the prep work are you? So in this point, we're actually starting from base.
Yeah.
And we're saying, let us metal prep the car properly. Because the theory is, if you metal prep it properly, your primer prep should be good.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Your primer prep is good, your paint prep should be good. Hence your end product.
I suppose in that stage, then you know where your faults are.
100%.
Then it's easier to go back and sort that out.
So we've got the Calypso car as well. I know you need to run, but we've got the Calypso car as well. And at one point, I also put out the video to say, hey, we prep for paint, we're just doing the metal work on it. But we've actually changed the process, especially on that white IS there, of which now we've actually done a metal work. So that'll be the next video out. I'll show you how the metal work came out on it. But now we need to start prepping up for paint. But in order for us to start prepping up for paint on both those cars, right? The white car is done, the Calypso car is not yet done. On the white car, we're actually opting, I'm looking for a solution to get back down to metal on the face of the vehicle.
Okay.
So we're not going to do a strip down like this here, but we're going to do, your panels are all down to metal, your doors are down to metal, your fenders, the back. So when we dump a coat of paint on the exterior, it's a fresh level coat. So when you in the beadings, these beadings here, you don't have thick layers of paint where you battle to get the beadings on. You actually got an, call it almost a virgin layer, if I can call it that, of paint. So your beadings actually clip on properly, and you shouldn't see waves on them.
I see these lines. What are these lines? Did you mark them?
No, so I've seen them on a lot of cars, right? Yeah. This one here, okay, this roof has been changed. Right,
So if you want to change the roof, is that your cutting line?
this is actually a seam line. So what the guys have done is, you've got spot welds running. Let's talk more on this guy here so the viewers can see what we're talking about. Right? So we've got spot welds all the way onto the roof here, right? Then this has been your join. But what this here is, this is actually a brazing line.
Okay.
You understand? This is some sort of brazing material. Yeah, it's in here. Here's the chair.
Oh, there's also,
So it's a join between the two panels, but they've also brazed in there. I'm not too sure if it's, I don't think it's lead, because I've seen our lead removal looks.
Okay.
It doesn't look like lead. It looks like a copper braze or something like that.
Okay.
And yeah, here's the chair also.
So, a lot, Sure.
So
Are you taking on more projects or?
we can't actually take on any for this year, but some cars are getting dumped here just to say, okay, fine, start when you can on the cars. But we've actually stopped taking on projects in February already.
A lot of work. Sanjay, thanks for bringing me into your
No, it's a pleasure, Saras. I'm actually happy that you're able to.
It wasn't a compliment, it was more like a sarcasm.
Typical, right? And you know, these days in Cape Town, he's got a Cape Town accent, right? But it's from Lens.
No, man, we stayed here for long enough,
Nah, I always got rhyme about that.
But yeah, thanks, all the best. We shall chat soon.
Thank you. And
keep on doing what you're doing. You're on the right track.
Thanks, Saras.
Okay.
Then to the viewers, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. This was just a quick update. Before I actually go, let me just take the camera back off the tripod again, and let's just go through the vehicles, right? Just so I can show you the lines and explain to you. Yeah, you can switch your microphone. Sorry, our videos are very informal. There's nothing scripted out here. So you'll see me making mistakes. You'll see me talking in between. It's how it is. Let me just take the camera off quickly. Let's go through the lines. Before I do that as well, okay, I'll do that in another video.
I'm going to see you, right?
Okay, cool. I'll phone in on Sharaz. Okay, so Sharaz is out. He's got to catch a flight. So, guys, let's just go through this here quickly, right? This is a fender. Now, normally guys will say, okay, fine, we got a dent on the fender. Let's pull up. Let's repair it. Let's get body filler on it. So, having said that, the fender is on here now. It's spun and filed down to metal. It looks good here, right? But we've got to go a step further now. And we've got to start getting the doors on the car. We've got to get headlights on the car, get the bumper back on, and do a lineup on it. So that means getting our line straight, getting the fender lined up properly. So if there is any modifications to do, meaning getting the fender bolted down properly, getting it lined up, excuse my guide hole here, but getting the fender lined up properly, we can do that now. Then the fender will come back off, get marked for this vehicle, and we know that that is 100%. Move on to the next item. So let me just go through the line quickly on the fender for you. You can see the line is fairly straight. There's a slight, it looks like a dent here. It's not actually a dent, it's a reflection of the different shade on metal. All right, so I know the light is in the way, but the light is actually helping me to show you guys the line here. And then, so we're busy with the battery tray here. Gonna get the battery tray removed. I got one from a salvage vehicle. This line came out good. The panel is straight, so we're still gonna do a check coat over here just to make sure that all the finer dents are pulled out. This line is good. Then we're gonna do, now this morning, we're gonna get the floors done, get the welding neatened up. Then the inside of this car should be done. We're gonna move over to the back tray, get this guy done, and then we've got a rust spot over here. So we have to get this guy now cleaned up, this guy cleaned up, get the panel made up for this guy here, like how we done on the red car. So I've done the videos, well, I've done very short videos on these cars here quickly. So we've pin and filed the back fenders out quite well. The dents are out, right? But we've stopped at this point now. So let me just show you the back fenders on here quickly. these guys are done. So now, I was touching on a point now, which I'll ask quickly, right? To say that the rubberizer at the back here. So this guy is actually a bad example to use because I actually started taking out a lot of the imperfections on this vehicle, right? I think, no, but this here is the bad car. So let me go back to this guy quickly. So if you look at this guy, you look at where the rubberizer is. This here all looks good and well, but the rubberizer covers up a lot of the issues. So I'm not saying that this guy's got issues there. I doubt, if I look at the rest of the body, I doubt it will have. But this car was rubberized, and the issues were hidden on this vehicle. So what you are seeing here, all these spots that you are seeing here, these are all known as low spots, right? Low spots are actually dents. So we've actually got to come now and start repairing this panel here before rubberizer gets back onto it. So hence me saying that we've got to take everything back off again. So all the dark spots that you see here, these are all dents in this panel. Right, this panel is actually a bit better here on this guy here. So not as many dents. These are just a little bit of high spots actually. You'll see here, this panel is actually nice and clean in the center there. So that's how far we got to go onto that. Let's just move over to the other side. Fender, just a quick view on it. But I'm not going to concentrate too much on these vehicles because we're going to concentrate on... these cars will actually have their own episodes with full... they'll have full episodes because we've got a lot of fabrication work to be done on them. This is one of the doors that we're working with now. So there's actually a dent in this door that we're battling with. Right, so it's a wide dent. It's not a deep, shallow dent. It's a wide dent that we need to start pulling out. So what we'll do is we'll pull the dent out and then we'll go with a check layer, give it a light flat, and see if the dent is out. Once that is out, we don't want to dig in too far into the line as well. So we've got to pin and file we've got to file down very subtly on the line, because we can dig into the line and tap into that. Then the door, this is the driver's side door that will get put on. We'll line the door up. Remember, each door has got its own spaces on it, so each door has got their own unique spaces. So when we strap this car out, we actually have to take the spaces out, mark them, and keep them for this vehicle. Get the spaces on, get the door rubbers on, get the locks back on, close the door, line it up, line the fender up, bolt the fender down, make sure it's lined. Then we'll use a laser light just to get, and it helps us, it gives us a reference across the board, right? So we don't only rely on the eye. Get that lined up, lock it in, mark it. Okay, that's that car's panel. Then move on. Then we still need to do bonnet on the car, finish up with the roof on the car. There's a big dent in the roof. It's a wide dent. Gotta get that repaired, and then this guy is also done as well. So we take for granted this panel here. This panel also gets quite a bit of dents. So guys, anyway, this here is it for this episode here, right? And I know it's a 30-minute long video, but I think it's good that Shiraz was in. I'm happy that we had a neutral person actually in to see what we are busy with and what it takes to get through a restoration process. Again, thanks for the previous comments in the previous video with the black IS. You know what, you guys, you won't imagine, or you won't understand what your input actually does for us, for the clients, as well, especially the clients that are going through a lot of issues on the cars, that were bought and not bought, are not sold what they were actually sold, meaning that if they bought an IS, they weren't actually sold an IS. So it actually makes the customers feel better. It actually helps them with, you know what, I feel confident. Yes, I made a mistake, but you know, there is light at the end of the tunnel, something like that. So please carry on dropping us comments. Let me know what you guys think. I appreciate your input. I value your input, and I do listen to you guys. I might not show that I'll be able to listen all the time, but I do listen. So let me know what you guys think about this here, about the metalwork. Let me know what you guys want to see as well in videos, so I can concentrate on that. And again, like, subscribe, and share. You guys know what to do. For those that do, we appreciate you. And guys, cheers. Enjoy.